this video, you'll be learning how to make a hip and butt padded tight to be as natural as this, to look as natural as this, and to feel as natural as this one you're looking at in this video. I know this might look small in the video, but in real life, you already know how these things can be. And for my size, this is just good for everyday wear. This is not exaggerated hip and butt padding. Now, the good part of this video is that it will be taking you through the right measurements to take for your hip and butt padded tights, the pattern drafting, the sewing, and everything in between. Now, let's start with the right measurements to take. First, you're going to get straps like this one you're seeing, or ropes like this. Then you're going to tie it around your hip. Make sure it's the fullest part of your hip. You're going to tie it there, and then the next one will be on your waist. Where you want this to sit on your waist, that's where you're going to tie this. And for me, this will be sitting just on my natural waistline, the boneless part of my waist. That's how I want it. But you're tying your rope where you want your tight to sit on your waist. Do you get that? Okay, and you can see that I'm wearing my hip pad in taking these measurements. Of course, you already know that you don't have to wear something to, like, you don't have to wear a padded tight to take these measurements. Now, after doing this too, the next one will be where you want, like, the length of the tights. You're going to tie something where you want your tights to sit on your laps, just like this. Then after that, the next one is totally optional. You can decide to do it or you ignore it. You are going to tie it at your underbutt. I say this is totally optional because you can get this without tying anything there. But if you want to, I mean, go ahead and also tie something around your underbutt so that you measure that accurately. Now, after doing all of this, you're going to take a measuring tape, and you already know how to take your body measurements here. You only need your two fingers to take your measurements, one in and one out, and not your full fingers, like your whole fingers in. You are only adding to your body measurements, which is not like your accurate body measurement. So you're going to take the waist measurement firmly, and then you go to the hip line and take the hip just around where you tied something. And once you have your measuring tape round firmly, you're going to pull it up and down to be sure that you have the accurate measurement, that is not too loose and not too tight. Then after that, you're going to measure around where you want this tight to sit. This is very important. So take the accurate measurements here. Then after that, you're now going to take the length of this tight. You're measuring from where you have the band around your waistline or the rope around your waistline. Then you're taking your hip line first, then the length of the tight. Make sure you're not bending. If you're measuring this yourself, you're going, once you get to your desired length, you're going to hold your measuring tape like this to see the measurement. You don't have to bend to see so that you have the right measurement. And you already took this particular measurement. Once you get your length, go ahead and measure around that part. Now, the next measurement I like to take is where I'll start my curve. So you're going to measure from, you're going to measure down to your underbutt. And my measuring tape kind of shifted, but you're going to measure like your butt, not like this. You already know how your measuring tape should be. So you're going to measure it like this. Again, you're not going to bend. You're just going to hold that point to see the value you have there. And then the next measurement is totally optional if you want to, but I like to because it works well for me. You're going to measure from your waistline to where you start your curve. From where your hip started getting bumpy, do you understand that? And this particular measurement is very important. It shouldn't be ignored, but if you want to, now you know, but me, I need it for the pattern drafting. Now, these are the materials I use. I use this fiber. It's called a fiber sheet, not the regular fiber that you know. This one is called the fiber sheet, and you can get this in furniture shop, timber shade, and the likes. That's where you can get this easily. And this one you can see here is about 2 inches width, which is not, it's not what it seems like. So it's looking like 2 inches here, but by the time you press it, which is something you should do because it's going to press itself by the time you're done using it. So you're going to like shrink it like this, and then you measure the width again. I have 2 inches here, but by the time I shrink it, it's going to be about 0.75. And if you're using something exactly like this, just count it that this is just ½ inch. That's the only way it's going to look firm by the time you're done using it. So I use this. I'm not sure how this is sold in every other part, but I think I got this 45 by 57, and I think I got that for 45. Like I said, it's been a while since I got that, so can't really remember. Then I use this crepe. I recommend that you use a fabric that is quite stretchy but not too stretchy. Do you understand? If you're using a really stretchy fabric, that means you won't be needing to add. Don't worry, we'll talk about that later. But yeah, I use this crepe, and you'll be needing at least 1.5 of this, depending on your size, but nothing less than 1 yard. Okay, now let's start with the pattern drafting. For we'll be starting with the front pattern and already have a space upwards and then a space before the where will be seven as the center front. Depending on how much you want to pad your hip, depends on the space you're going to have just before the center front line. So this will be the waistline, and on this waistline, I'm going to mark my hip measurement divided by 4, your actual hip measurement, your natural hip measurement divided by 4. Then to get the crotch length, I'm going to divide my hip circumference, again your natural hip circumference divided by 4 plus extra 1 inch. I added half inch here, but I recommend that if you're using a fabric that is not too stretchy, you're going to add 1 inch for ease. Yeah, I recommend that. But if you're using a really stretchy fabric, then you're using just your hip measurement divided by 4. And then you're going to mark it out this way. The next thing now is to get the hip line. And the trick here is that you're minusing 1 inch from your hip line. I measured 8 inches here. I'll be marking 7 inches here now as my hip line, which means that if you're making this for someone with a low hip, let's say as small as I am, that my hip line is 10 inches, that means I'll be marking 8 inches here. Because, yeah, you're trying to create something, you can as well fix some things. Do you get? Then you're going to start from the waistline again and go down to the length of your short, which for my case it's 18 inches. You're going to mark this out like you see me do it here, and then you're going to label it. I hope you understand what I explained here. First, you're marking your hip measurement divided by 4. Then to get the crotch length, you're going to divide your hip circumference by 4 plus 1 inch if you're not using a really stretchy fabric. Then you get the hip line and then the tight length. Now to get the crotch extension, you're going to divide your hip circumference by 20. Mine is 36 divided by 20 would give me 1.8, and I'm going to mark it the same way you see me do it. And then you're going to curve it out like this. How you curve this out depends on how much space you're trying to create for your tummy. But yeah, we are making it tight. Next, you're starting here and you're taking your waist measurement divided by 4, and then you're going to connect it to the hip line. We already have the hip measurement here. That's what we use to mark out to this outline you're seeing here. So you're connecting from your waist measurement to the hip line. We'll be working on the padding later. For now, focus on this. Now you're going to measure these 2 points, and whatever it is, you're going to divide that into two equal halves to get the midpoint. Now measure it this way, then come down here and mark that same value just so I have a straight line, and that will be the midpoint of this tight. Are you following? Now, what I'm going to do here is to get the circumference that I measured at the length of the tight. That's like this part of your thigh, your is it thigh or lap? You're going to divide that into two equal halves, then you're going to share it equally on both sides. Mine was 18 divided by 2, 9 inches. So what I'm going to do is to share that 9 inches into 2, and I'll be sharing it 4.5 on both sides. Do you get? So this front pattern now will have 9 inches, the back pattern will have 9 inches, and that would make up the 18 inches for one of your lap. Do you understand that? Yeah. I think you should be familiar with making a basic pant. Now I'm going to come down here to half inch, and you're going to slant it to the waist measurement this way. This is not you shortening the crotch length as you might have believed before now. This is just trying to make it comfortable around your waistline. If it's curvy this way, it's going to be comfortable. Now to work on the padding, you're going remember what you measured on the fiber. Mine was 0.75, which I said if you just have something like mine, just calculate it as half inch. So you're going to just start from your hip measurement now, and you're going out to half inch. For this case, I marked 0.75, but I said if you're using just the width, the same width like what I used there, just mark half inch here so that it will look sturdy and you won't have lump anywhere around the hip. Then you're going to connect it as you see me do it here. So this now will be the new hip line that we'll be working with. Then I'll be cleaning off the initial hip line because of course we would no longer be needing that. So after doing that, I will go ahead and blend in the hip line just so it looks smooth. And that's basically it about this particular front short pattern. There's a way you do this to have your back pattern too from this same pattern, but I'm not in the mood to trace, like use my tracing wheel today, so I'll be showing you how to draft the back pattern separately. Here on my pattern, I already have a space up and then a space before the center front line. Then I'm going to get the hip line, the crotch level line, and then the tight length. I'm going to mark the same thing, just the same measurement to use for the front pattern, please. 7 inches as the hip line, 9.5 as the crotch level line, 18 inches as the tight length. Then I'm going to mark them out this way and label it WL waistline, HPL, CL as the clutch level line or clutch length, and then TL as the tight length. Now, I'm supposed to mark 9 inches here, yeah, but I'll be minusing 1 inch from that and I'll be marking 8 inches. If you're a plus size, you'll be minusing half inch from your hip measurement and then you're marking it there. Then on the waistline, I'll be minusing 1.5 from my hip measurement divided by 4. If you're a plus size, you're going to minus just 1 inch from your hip measurement divided by 4 and then you're marking it. By the time you mark out this line, it's going to look slanty because that's how your center back is. It's not straight. Now to get the clutch extension, I'm going to divide the hip circumference by 10 and 36 divided by 10 will give me 3.6 and I'll mark exactly that. Then you're going to curve this out and please do not make this curve too deep so as to create a space for your butt. It shouldn't be too deep, this curve, and also not too shallow except you have a really big butt. Do you get that? Now I'm going to start here and take the waist measurement divided by 4 on this waistline. I'll mark it. Then you're going to go back to your front pattern and measure what you have on the whole of the hip line. That's the easiest way to go about it so that you don't like get confused. Instead of marking your hip line first, yeah, like your natural hip measurement, then afterward adding the allowance for the padding. Just measure what you have on the whole of your hip line for the front pattern and then you're going to mark it on the hip line here. Then I went up here half inch, which I won't even advise because this is not something you're wearing outside. This is something you're wearing inside your dress. There is no need creating this allowance for your sitting. This is just like when you sit so that it won't expose your body, but it's not looking cute if it's going inside the body. Again, you're going to mark the same thing you marked as the midpoint on the front pattern, or better still, you can get the midpoint of this particular pattern and take your measurement. Now on the front pattern, I marked 4.5 on both sides of the line. Here I'm marking 5 inches. This is the back pattern. So you're adding extra half inch for ease for the back. Do you understand? You don't add that to the front pattern, you do it on the back pattern. 5 inches on both sides of this midpoint line as opposed to 4.5 on both sides that I use on the front pattern. Do you get? And after doing that, this is what it's looking like. And you can see that this one is bigger, like looks bigger than what we have on the front pattern. So after that, this is what the pattern looks like and we are going to simply cut this out. Remember I said I'm not in the mood to use my tracing wheel, so we are going to work without tracing wheel on this project. So I'm going to cut this out like this, and after that I'm going to cut the front pattern out too before we work on before we carve out the pad outline. Now to do that, I'm going to come on this waistline on this side here. I'll be coming down to 2.5. Okay, you can decide to just come down depending on where this is sitting on your body. You can decide to just come down by 1 inch, 1.5, 2 inches, or even 3 inches. Remember I said depending on where it's sitting. Then you're starting here, this is the center front, and then you're coming in with your bust span, your nipple to nipple divided by 2, you're going to mark it. Then you start from the waistline and go down to where you want your butt to, your padding to stop. For this case, my under butt is 13, but I'll be marking 15.5 here as the pad length. So I'm going to mark it out this way. You can decide to just get this to your under butt. Then again, you're going to mark your bust span here, and then you're going to curve from the 2.5 you have on this side. Remember I said you can have 2.5, 2 inches, 1.5, 1 inch, depending on where this tight will be sitting on your waist. Do you understand? So you're going to curve it out. For me, I'm curving from that 2.5 I have on the side. It will meet the bust span I have on the midpoint of the paper and then all the way to the pad length of 15.5. And by the time I'm done, this is the shape I have. Then you're going to label this CF as the center front. Then you indicate your upper part so that you don't like misplace it while doing the other part. Now for this particular one, this is the back pattern. I'll be coming down here to 2.5, the same 2.5 I used for the front pattern. You have to make sure you use the same thing on the back pattern too. And I'm trying to like make sure that I have that same 2.5 I have on the side on the front pattern. Then you're going to get first your under butt. Mine is 13, but I'll be marking 13.5. Mine is 13 here. and then I'm going to be marking 13 and a half, like mark it out this way, and this is my 13 and a half. Then I'm going to measure again to the pad length of 15 and a half. That's the same 15 and a half I used for the front pattern, and see where I place my measuring tape. Please, it should be on your waistline. Then you're getting these lines. Now we have too many lines, and I'm going to clean off the crotch level line so that at least we see what you are going for. And I ended up tearing my paper. So I'm going to use my masking tape to like hold it down. This I just tore that paper, not like I'm doing any other thing there. Then the PL pad length, then this one will be the underbutt line. Now we are going to curve the next thing we'll be taking is that measurement I said that you should take. Mine is 5 inches. So starting from the waistline, I will come down 5 inches on the center back. Then I'm going to make sure that my curve gets to that point. This way it follows the outline of your butt and you're not padding where you're not supposed to pad. Then you're going to take this curve this way. Okay, so I have this. It's going to look like a C, a sweet C shape like this. And then now coming to this underbutt, from this curve that I already have here, I'll be coming in to 2 inches. Initially I marked my 1.5, but it didn't work while curving this out because I trust my pencil. So I'm going to now curve again, making sure it's getting to the 2 inches I have from on the underbutt line this way. And yeah, once you're done, you're going to, once you get the perfect curve that you should have, you're going to like make it obvious like you see me doing it here. And this is already looking like a human butt in it. So I'm going to make sure I have the perfect curve here, because whatever you have on this curve here is how it's going to sit on your body. And if you don't get it right on the pattern, it's not going to come out right on your fabric, because your pattern is the skeleton of your what your outfit is going to be like at the end of the day. So after that, go ahead and also label it, indicate the upper part and then the center back. Then now you're going to transfer this to your fabric. You're cutting 4 pieces of each of this pattern. The front pattern, you're cutting 4 pieces of the fabric. The back pattern, you're cutting 4 pieces. Two will be your fashion fabric, then the other two will be the lining. And right after doing that, this is what mine is looking like. You're adding ½ inch all around this pattern like you see mine here, because you need just ½ inch. If you have your accurate measurement on your pattern, then you need just ½ inch to sew it all around. So just have it in mind that you won't be shaping this every now and then, because once you're done sewing, that's it. That's why you need to make sure that you use your accurate body measurement, and then you're going to just add ½ inch all around your pattern to sew this. I used 1 yard of the skin tone crepe to cut out the two fashion fabric for the front pattern and then the two fashion fabric for the back pattern. Then I use another color of crepe to cut out the lining. This is the back pattern here, and then it's just the same crepe, the same stretch strength, if that makes sense. Like the same way the fashion fabric I'm using stretches is the same way this one also stretches. Not the stretch is not noticeable, but yeah, it's there. And then I use the skin tone crepe to cut the two fashion fabric for the front pattern, one piece of the lining, and then I use the other crepe to cut the remaining lining. Okay, so what you are going to do now is to simply go ahead and start joining without wasting much time. And I'm simply going to remove the pins from the pattern. Just in case I forget, you're supposed to notch the hip line while the pattern is still on your fabric. Go ahead and notch the hip line because you'll be needing that. And then you're going to pin the two fashion fabric together, then you pin the two pieces of the lining together so that it's easy for you to just get on with it, like sew them together. Now I'm going to open up the back like this. Then I'm going to pin the two fashion fabric together and pin the two lining together, so that again it will be easy for me to just take the fashion fabric to work with it. Then I said we should notch the hip line.